Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another FWTR video. Alright, so this is a beginner's guide on how to mod your equipments or modding equipments guide. So if you're new to the game, welcome. Mostly veteran players wouldn't want to watch this, but if you guys want to watch it, feel free to join along. Alright, let me claim a couple of energies first. Just gonna claim that. Alright, done. I do have a spare 6-star set selection ticket available on my inventory that I picked up quite a while ago on my last mileage. That was at least 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, so we're gonna pick that up. I already decided what I want. It's going to be the slot 2 Cuckoo Pirates. Alright, this guy right here. This is my first Cuckoo Pirates. I do not have this particular set yet. So I've already, alright, equipment is full as usual. Do not have enough space. Alright, give me a moment guys, I will be right back. Alright, we are back. So let's go. Slot 2 Cuckoo Pirates. Alright, so this set item is not particularly special and you don't really need this for BOH. I have been fine for quite a while without this particular set item. It's more for guild raids, definitely in terms of the survivability that it can provide. You're getting the most out of it from guild raids for sure. Alright, let's just equip it to someone. Let's give this to our Celestial. Alright, generally this is we're talking about general terms of modding your equipments for all game modes. For weapon, if you are modifying it, you generally want to go for the first top 4 traits right there. Potential, which is crit rate, crit damage, attack and damage. So you should focus on those 4. So you can see that quite lucky we did get 4.6% damage. I believe that's the second highest you can get. 5% is the third highest. 5% is the second highest. 5.3% is the purple. So purple is the highest, orange is second highest. There are 3 orange states that you can get for each of the equipment traits. So 4.6%, I think, let me see if I can find 5%. This is 5% and 4.3%. So you can see for orange stats, for each of the slot, there will be 3 different oranges that you can get. So 4.3, 4.6 and 5% as you guys can see earlier. So 5% is obviously the highest of the orange stats, and generally that's what you want to go for. Alright, so crit rate, crit damage, attack and damage for your weapon. Arguably these 4 are the best potentials for your weapon. Generally you want to go for these 4. There are certain exceptions though. For example, Tower of Dawn Hell. Let's say if you struggle with a boss that has extremely high dodge, for example, then you want to go for hit rate. But generally, hit rate is not the most sought after traits for your weapon. Alright, so let's get on right into it. We are going to start off by doing a guaranteed enhancement, and then I'll let you guys have a look how I usually mod my weapons. Alright, we will start off. 4.6% is not that high. We can get higher, 5%. I usually aim to get at least the second highest. I know 5.3%, the purple one, is the best one, but generally I don't go for that because it's a waste of potions. So we only have 597, so I'm trying to balance it out enough for my weapon, my armor and the accessory as well. So I'll start modding it for now. Alright, did get a 5% damage, so this is our first lock for sure. Damage, crit damage, attack. Generally I will try to lock for this. Usually crit rate I will leave it for the last because crit rate, despite being useful, is easy to obtain, especially when you have awakened heroes from runes and things like that. So generally in terms of the damage output from a weapon, crit rate, it doesn't give anything if you have above 100%. Like, so you don't want to get overkill with the crit rate. Generally for slot 5 I would try to go ham on the mod potions because those actually give slightly higher percentage. This is just a slot 2 equipment, so I won't be too focused on the crit rate, so I'll log into the damage for now. Oh, we got the second highest crit damage. 8% is the highest, 7.5% is the second highest crit damage, so most likely we're gonna lock in this one as well. I'm not that greedy to try to go for the purple one or pink, whichever you want to call it. They are quite similar, purple pink, but generally I would try to keep this one as well, and then we will try to aim for attack next. There we go, 3.7% attack. That is also the second highest, 4% is the highest. So we have the second highest for everything. So the next one, obviously crit rate, might not be that important, so I might not focus it that much right here, because number one, this is actually a bow. It does provide crit rate already, so I'm gonna lock it. I will see what other useful stats I can get. If I get attack or additional, even a flat crit rate, I'll just go for that one. Alright, a flat attack, I'm going to keep this. So this is a pretty, I wouldn't say a perfect one, but almost perfect weapon, except for the attack part. Generally you want to have crit rate on that, but this is good enough. Alright, so for weapons, generally you want to go for percentage crit rate, percentage crit damage, percentage attack, and percentage damage. Do not go for those flat ones, especially for the damage. The flat damage, it actually gives the most boost stats in terms of CP, but actually it provides the least amount of benefit for your heroes. In terms of flat damage and flat attack, generally go for attack. Alright, so let me just show you a couple more examples of weapons, usually what I'll go for. So this is another pretty good example, crit damage, attack, crit rate. So I'll show my other slots as well. This one. So damage, attack, crit damage, crit rate. Alright, crit rate, damage, attack, crit damage. Attack, crit damage, damage. This one doesn't have crit rate. I replace it with a flat attack, which is fine. It's a plus 15 bow. And generally, when I equip this bow, I will try to compensate with runes that provides crit rate to have 100% crit rate. And an example of a slot one. So attack, damage, crit damage, and that's a flat crit rate, which is fine. If you can't get the percentage crit rate, flat crit rate does provide quite a bit as well. Alright, hopefully that's enough examples for the weapon. Let's proceed to the armor side of things. Alright, I've already done modding both my Cuckoo Pirates armor and accessories, so I'm just going to explain what I go for. For armor, generally you want to go for the top 4 stats right there, which is the percentage defense, percentage HP, and percentage minus damage taken, and recover percent by HP every single turn. So generally I will only go for the HP, defense, and minus damage taken. The percentage HP, that one doesn't provide much actually. Depends on what you're utilizing your skills for. It can be useful in BOH, for example. If you're fighting Hongyam or Sugun, they deal terrain damage to you, and having that recover percentage HP every single turn for every single slot of your armor can help mitigate some of the terrain damage. So yeah, it kind of depends on what you are actually using them for. So as you can see here, I already have this minus percent damage taken. This is the second highest, 1.9%. Highest is 2% you can obtain. So this one, defense, not that high. This is the 4th highest you can get. 6.7% defense is the highest, 6.2% is the second highest, 5.8% and 5.3%. So this is like, in terms of the 3 orange stats, this is the lowest one you can have. Not something that I can be proud of. Flat defense, that's always good. Generally I would go for flat defense, either that or recover percentage of HP every turn. I'm fine with flat defense. and of course percentage HP. So HP and defense, generally those two are the most important of all the stats. You want to place priority in that. Some might argue that HP is more useful than defense, because once you can have 65% defense, you can rely on grace and things like that. But it sort of depends on the build you're going for, the overall equipments that you have, and the game modes that you are focusing on. In BOH, they are both equally important. You can't use grace in BOH, so there's that, something to keep in mind. Alright, so I'll proceed to showing a couple of good examples for each slots, so you'll have an idea what I usually go for. So this is one decent example, one more right here, and this is an Iron Fist, so I decided to give it a percentage counter rate, so that would help a little bit to increase my overall counter rate when I'm equipping this particular set item. Alright, time for your shot is a set item that I only use in guild raids, so I don't really go for the -% damage taken, because generally I'll equip this on my DPS heroes and they won't actually get hit at all, so that is not as important as percentage HP, defense, and recover percentage HP every single turn. So one more example. So this is what I have on my Green Ranger. Probably will need to improve on that defense and remove that dodge, replace it with -% damage taken. Now that's a much better one. Alright, Angel Knight armor. So this one pretty okay, counter rate flat. And my Omni. Alright, hopefully you guys get some idea on how to properly mod your armor, shield, boots. They should all have the same stats. Don't go for dodge, generally don't go for counter rate. Just get HP and defense, those two are the most important ones of all. Alright, the last one we're gonna move on is accessory. This one can be a little bit confusing because there are some unique stats potential that is unique to that particular slot. So for slot 2, we have percentage crit rate and percentage crit damage. So these two stats, you can only obtain it in slot 2 accessory. You can't obtain it in slot 1, you can obtain it in slot other slots. Alright, so they have all these unique ones. Slot 1, the unique ones are percentage HP and percentage hit rate. I won't focus too much on the hit rate, but generally you want to go for the percentage HP. So for slot 3 probably has the least important ones of all, is percentage counter rate and counter damage. Generally you can skip that, they are not that important depending on what kind of build you use, but generally if you are going for counter build, you will want outer space or Iron Fist equipments on your heroes. So for slot 4, we have -% damage taken and percentage dodge. Generally go for the damage taken. The dodge might not be that useful. Usually I'll skip that one. And slot 5 probably has the most useful stats of all: percentage attack, percentage defense, and I think the recover percentage HP by every turn as well. So generally you want the percentage attack and defense. Alright, I'm going to show my equipments on each slot, so hopefully you guys get an idea. So this is what I have for my bloody melee. Percentage HP 1.6%. You want the damage to boss, increase attack to percentage of HP. That one is the most important of all. No matter what slot you are modding your equipments for, that is the most important unit. Increase attack by percentage of HP, hands down, period. Do not skip that. That thing will make your accessory a lot more useful to have. It boosts so much. So that's the first thing that you generally go for slot 1, and then you want to go for percentage HP, and that's the only two important things. Percentage damage to boss is going to depend on whether you're using that particular equipment for guild raids or not. So generally for guild raids you want to go for percentage damage to boss, even for equipments that are useful in Tower of Dawn as well. But depending on where you're at for Tower of Dawn, if you attempt Hell a lot, Tower of Dawn Hell, you will need some percentage damage to minions as well, so that one can be more useful in certain cases. So it depends on what you're looking for. Alright, so slot 2 generally we will go for, like this one is a perfect one, increase attack percentage of HP, crit rate, crit damage, and percentage damage to boss. Obviously you can skip that damage to boss if you are not using that equipment for guild raids. For example, Immortal right here. So this is a pretty decent one. I would replace that plus MP with increased attack by percentage of MP if you want to boost your attack even more. So slot 3 is much more simpler. Generally go for increased attack by percentage of HP and damage to boss. That's the only two things that are important here. Percentage counter rate and counter damage, like I mentioned. I'm going to say it depends on how much potions you have. If you have plenty of them, try to get the percentage counter rate. Yeah, every single chance of you to increase your counter rate, even though it's RNG based, might be able to help you in PvP environment. You never know. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You might want to go for it depending on the amount of potions you have. If not, it's totally skippable. Don't fret about it. Alright, so for slot 4, you can have increased attack by percentage of HP. Definitely. Go for the minus damage taken. That one is extremely important. Probably more important for tank sets than on your DPS items. So generally go for that. So this is a decent example. Damage to boss, minus damage taken, increased attack by percentage of HP. And the last one, you can either have recover MP depending on what hero you're equipping it on, or you can increase attack by percentage of MP. So for slot 5, generally you want to have attack, defense, and increase attack by percentage of HP. Let me see if I can snag a good one right here. Alright, this is a pretty decent one. Decently modded accessory. This is a brooch. Increase attack by percentage of HP. That's the most important one. That's a lot of increased attack if you do it correctly. Try to get at least 3.1%. That's the second highest. Attack, defense, go for those. They provide very useful stats. The last one is going to depend on where you are going to use your equipments. Damage to boss for guild raids. For PvP, increased crit rate can be useful as well if you're struggling to hit 100% crit rate. The percentage HP recovery can be useful as well if you're fighting a lot in certain maps where there's a lot of terrain damage dealt to you, and if you want to further boost your attack, you can try the increased attack by percentage of MP. So yeah, generally I would try to go for those. Alright, I guess that's it for the video. Hope it's not too long. So I'm sure I missed a thing or two. If I did, please let me know in the comment section below. I will try to find the best advice and I'll pin it to the top of the comment section. So if you guys have anything you want to add, feel free to do so. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a rough idea on how to mod your equipments now, at least in 2018. Hopefully the game mechanics won't change too much down the years, and you'll still be able to use this guide for general equipments, general purposes and things like that. Obviously, there are certain things like if you are trying to focus on specific things, like you want to fight a boss with high dodge in Tower of Dawn, so you want to go for hit rate for your weapons. But generally that's not a common thing to do. It might happen occasionally once you try to progress further in the game and once you have reached certain level. But for beginners, this is mostly good enough. Try to get the right potential for all your weapons, armors, accessories. It all applies to all of them. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new, subscribe, give this video a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.